Hello and welcome to Dateline Lagos on Channels Television. I'm Ayotunde Balogun. Coming up on the program, Lagos State launches Social Protection Policy Handbook, Lagos holds 2022 Spelling Bee competition, the STEP Agric competition, and Governor Sanwo-Olu pays a working visit to Ikorodu. The show kicks off with the launching of the Lagos State Social Protection Policy Handbook that will grant citizens access to all social amenities provided by the government. Now, the book, which was launched by the State Commissioner for Economic Planning and Budget, Sam Egube, says the policy will be mainstreamed into the state's 30-year development plan, which is currently ongoing. Take a look.
The National Bureau of Statistics said in 2020, 40% or 83 million Nigerians live in poverty. Although Nigeria's poverty profile for 2021 has not yet been released, it is estimated that the number of poor people will increase to 90 million, or 45% of the population, in 2022. According to a report released by the Nigerian Poverty Statistics in 2021, the poverty rate in Lagos is 8.5%, with over 1 million people living in extreme poverty. Lagos is faced with the issues of increasing population, and this is a major concern for the state government. In making life more meaningful for residents, the government has unveiled a social protection policy framework that incorporates social agenda paradigms which intends to reduce poverty in the state.
Lagos State intergovernmental partnership and collaboration with the federal government and other stakeholders has necessitated the need to domesticate the national social protection policy for the benefit of every citizen of Lagos State. Therefore, it is with great pleasure that I hereby inform you all that Lagos State is one of the few states in the Federation of Nigeria to domesticate and implement the national social protection policy. The domestication of this policy is supported with the adoption of a comprehensive social protection policy handbook, which we are presenting to the public. In view of the enormous benefits of the social protection policy that we bring to the citizens of Lagos State, it has become expedient to embrace the provisions of this policy to improve the standard of living of every Lagosian. It is therefore my belief that the objective of this policy shall be met in no distant future.
The initiative, which is under the Ministry of Economic Planning and Budget, is in collaboration with the United Nations Children's Funds, and the representative of UNICEF reviews the book.
Nigeria has adopted a definition, knowing that all other countries, different programs, they have their definitions of social protection. But this is what Nigeria has adopted. He said it's a mix of policies and programs. We say policies because we have like the school feeding policy or program in certain states. You have the cash transfer programs. So it's a mix of policies and programs designed for individuals and households. So if it's an individual that is poor, or vulnerable to being poor, or other factors, there's a program for them. But if it is a whole household, as the director of the new department in Ministry of Economic Planning will tell us more, there's a program for them. And the critical thing, as you can see, is emboldened, is that it's throughout the life cycle. So social protection takes care of people 0 to 5 years, 6 to 12, and so on and so forth, up till from cradle to grave, there is one social protection package or the other for the individuals. And what are they for? Is to prevent, where possible, and reduce poverty and socioeconomic shocks by promoting and enhancing livelihoods and a life of dignity. Social protection is a human right, because life of dignity is a human right, and it is in Article 22 of the Universal Declaration of Human Rights. Article 25 also talks about the adequate standard of living. Social protection is also a social necessity, because economic growth alone does not remove poverty.
The State Commissioner for Economic Planning and Budget, Sam Egube, says the policy will be mainstreamed into the state's 30-year development plan, which is currently ongoing.
Given the awareness of the critical role that social protection plays as a strategy for combating poverty and supporting the vulnerable, the State Executive Council approved the Lagos State Social Protection Policy, a framework that will give direction, clarity, and ensure consistency in implementation of different programs and initiatives by all relevant MDAs of the state. It is germane to mention that this policy is an amalgamation of all the various fragments of past programs that were developed to address different areas of social protection intended to reduce poverty, address other related social norms, financial barriers, and provide a life of dignity for our people. In addition, the policy aims to create an all-inclusive and comprehensive method of addressing socio-economic vulnerabilities to poverty and deprivation at all levels in our society.
Stakeholders welcome the initiative and say they are ready to make it realistic.
This policy has now been launched. It's going to guide every MDA that is sowing seeds in different ways and coordinate it. And that means the impact in society is likely to be more. Number two, why I say it's also a focal in the sense that Ministry of Economic Planning and Budgeting, I think I must commend your innovation. Okay, from just making a unit become more like a department to steer this particular policy.
The Lagos State Social Protection Policy will focus on creating an inclusive method of addressing socio-economic vulnerabilities to poverty and deprivation at all levels in the society.
Now to the education sector, where the investment of the Lagos State government has paved way for public school students, as Abdulaziz Abdurrahman, a student of Oriwu Senior Model College, wins the 2022 Spelling Bee competition organized by the Office of Education Quality Assurance. He will also be given the opportunity to act as a one-day governor of Lagos State.
It's the 20th edition of the Lagos Spelling Bee competition for state public primary and secondary school pupils at the Adeyemi Bero Hall, Alausa.
C-O-C-C-Y-X. Correct. Victoria. N-O-G-O-R-R-H-O-E-A. Correct.
The State Commissioner for Education, Folashade Adefisayo, the Director General Office of Education Quality Assurance, Abiola Seriki Ayeni, and other members of the education body are here to support their students. The annual event has been ongoing since 2021 and is designed to allow equal peering in the students' intellectual ability and promote academic excellence.
S-U-B-P-O-E-N-A. M-O-R-B-I-D-E-Z-Z-A.
After rigorous drill, Abdulaziz from Oriwu Model College, Ikorodu, emerges as the winner of the 2022 Spelling Bee competition. For the State Commissioner for Education and the Director General, Office of Education Quality Assurance, the competition has broadened the knowledge of the students.
Can you see hard work pays? All these students, they didn't do this just by chance. They had to learn it. They had to study. They had to understand the root of words. So it is making them think critically. It is making them problem solve. It is making them understand a lot of things about words. Public speaking, confidence, there's so many things. So it's a wonderful event.
I'm proud of each and every one of these children. They've shown true resilience and they've shown sportsmanship. At sometimes it was quite emotional, and even those of us in the audience felt very, very attached to the children. But at the end of the day, there can only emerge one winner. And we saw today that if the right motivational factors are in place, the right platform, the right resources, our children can and will excel. I think the huge lessons that we've learned, especially from this one, being the 20th anniversary, is that government can hold sustainable programs. Oftentimes it's seen as if we're not able to hold sustainable planning, and we know that for 20 years to hold a program of this magnitude is not an easy thing. Another thing we've noticed is that it's really important to ensure that we cultivate and maintain very strong public-private partnerships. We know that if we're able to have more partnerships, then more can come out of such programs. I want to wish everyone that was represented today, I wish them all well. I want each and every one of them to know that they are all winners and that the only way they lose is they don't get back up.
And the Permanent Secretary Education, District 1, is proud of the excellent performance of Lagos State public students.
Our students performed creditably today. There are some words that, in fact, adults find it difficult, but they spelled it with ease. This is very great, and I want to thank the Lagos State government for keeping up the flag flying. This program has been on since 2001 and is still on today. It's a life-changing program, and I'm happy. The students that have been winning, their lives have changed for the better.
Abdulaziz Abdurrahman received a cash prize of 300,000 naira, a trip to Finland, and scholarship to any public university in the state.
The first edition of the Start Them Early program, known as STEP Agri Competition in Lagos, has also produced a winner from Bagada Senior Grammar School, Destiny Edoro. The initiative is aimed at exposing public school students to modern forms of agriculture that will help them in future.
Each correct answer attracts 1,000 points.
It's the first edition of the Start Them Early program, Agri Competition in Lagos State, an innovative youth agriculture project.
The causative organism of maize rust is a bacterium, a fungus, an insect, a virus. 4 of our contestants got the answer correctly, 2 of them missed it.
The initiative is put together by the Ministry of Education in collaboration with the International Institute of Tropical Agriculture, targeted at over 90,000 students across 90 schools in 3 states, including Kano, Kaduna, and Lagos State. 479 students are part of the first set of students that displayed their produce at the maiden edition of the project.
Soilless farming, that is hydroponics. That is the use of water-rich nutrients. So these are bases, they are hybrid sensitive.
So the plantain, the body will be very dirty, so you rinse it in water before you start using it. So after rinsing it, you peel. Then after peeling, you slice it to your size, to the shape that you want. So after slicing it, then you mix it. It is not a must for you to mix it, just for you to have color. That is why you mix. You mix it with onga solution, onga in water, distilled water. So when you mix it, then you put it onto the frying. You lower the temperature for it to fry, for it not to get burnt, for it to have golden brown plantain chips.
Edoro Destiny of Bagada Senior Grammar School emerges winner, defeating David Joshua of Comprehensive High School, Alakpere, and Asokere Misimao of Ajara Comprehensive Senior High School, Badagry, to 2nd and 3rd position. The State Commissioner for Education, who was represented by the Permanent Secretary, Abayomi Abolaji, says the competition is needed to spur the interest of the students in the area of agriculture.
Majority of us here know the Kano Pyramid, the Cocoa House at Ibadan, very close to us, and how that building came to be, proceed of agriculture. And so, for us to therefore take a step back and refocus our energy in agriculture, we are of course not going to depend on the men and women who are 60, 65, 70, 75 years old. Are we? We are not going to look at them to salvage the situation. Who are we going to beckon on? The youth. And we have them in large number. So that is why this program is aimed at refocusing the attention of our youth to that veritable part of the economy, that sector of the economy that has the capacity to absorb as many entrants as possible.
The Director of Agric Services says the program is also aimed at encouraging students to have an interest in agric business.
The state, through the Ministry of Agriculture, has been encouraging increased investment and the empowerment of women and youths in the agricultural sector. This is aimed at increasing food production, creating employment opportunities, alleviating poverty, and boosting income generation in the state. The agro-processing productivity enhancement and livelihood improvement support appeals project, a comprehensive 6-year World Bank assisted project, has been empowering women and youths and assisting farmers to improve their productivity and also encourage investment and training of youths and women in the processing, marketing of poultry, rice, and agricultural products. The state also recognizes the need to encourage youth within secondary schools to participate actively in agriculture. Thus, the ministry's establishment of 190 agricultural projects in public secondary schools, a tertiary institution, and correctional centers across the state under the Lagos Agricultural Scholars Program, LASP.
Adopting modern agriculture is the only way to reduce unemployment and boost food production, and that's according to the executive manager of the project.
The innovative youth in agriculture has invested in younger youth for a very, very strong purpose. And that purpose is because we believe that the future begins today. And the future cannot be built unless the young people who will make it happen are well nurtured. And today, this competition is the beginning of something bigger than all of us. We thank the Ministry of Education for taking a leap of faith on us and for believing that there is a place, just like mathematics, language, sciences, agriculture has also a place in your curriculum. The world is running out of food, and Africa is the only place where food cannot be short. We cannot run out of short. We have good waters, we have good land, we have good, young, vibrant people who are going to work on that land. And today, by being here, you've made a commitment to be part of that bigger dream.
The STEP School Agric Competition will go a long way towards building a new generation of agripreneurs that will help boost food production in the country.
Finally, on the program, Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu paid a working visit to the Ikorodu area of the state, where he presented over 500 million naira as compensation to residents whose property were demolished for a road construction.
The Lagos State Governor, Babajide Sanwo-Olu, his deputy, Kadri Hamzat, on a working visit to Ikorodu, the largest local government area in the state, to meet with residents. The team is well received by the community. It's an opportunity to discuss with the people and get first-hand information on their areas of need. Representatives of Ikorodu Division highlight the progress made in terms of infrastructure development, but they make more requests.
We are aware of your numerous giant stride and huge commitment to the development of Ikorodu in terms of road construction, both completed and ongoing. The Obaseku Made Road, ongoing, is indeed a sight to behold, as your administration is permanently solving the challenge we are facing on that road with the concrete pavement and I must say the contractor is doing a good job. We want to appeal to the state government to assist in the construction of the second phase of Agura Berigbe Ijede Road Phase 2. Construction of Oreta Ofi Road in Igbobo Bayeko, as assured by you, sir, during your visit to Commission Igbobo Bayeko LCDA Secretariat.
Should we talk about Suberu Ogusoya Road, which was abandoned for so many years, and you came in and you completed it? Shall we be talking about the Empower Road? Shall we be talking about the Eyita Ojokoro Road? Shall we be talking about the completion of the Ota Ijede Road, the second phase of which you have completed? I want to thank you for your listening ability when we approached you severally about the completion of the road veering into the Bodu, Mowonla, Agura Road. The governor will come by himself to tell us the present state of the position of the government in respect of that road. And I'm sure by the time we'll be leaving here, we will all further clap for the governor as a listening governor.
The paramount ruler of Ikorodu also applauds the government for converting the state polytechnic to a university.
When G.O. Adeboye came to Ikorodu 2019, visited me in the palace, I took a ride with him to the polytechnic. On our way going, I told him, look at all this vast land. It belongs to the polytechnic. My prayer is for us to have this polytechnic converted to university. Today, I want to thank Mr. Governor for making that my dream come to reality. Mr. Governor, we want to thank you. Yini yini, kabali remini. In that vein, I was at the LASU and I sat by the essay on education. And I said, Mr. Hesse, now that you have approved that university for us, is it not proper to have hostel accommodation? He opened his phone and told me, Mr. Governor has just approved it and they have paid the contractor to build the hostel accommodation. Those are the things he has been doing in silence without making noise.
In line with promises made to those affected by the ongoing road projects in Ikorodu, Governor Sanwo-Olu hands over 500 million naira as compensation to 74 claimants and worship centers whose structures were demolished to pave way for the construction of the Igbe Gbogbo Bola Ahmed Tinubu Way.
We promise to hand over and to complete the Ijede Itamago Ewe-Elepe Road. It's been handed over. But the phase 2 of it, which is from Itamagon to Berigbe, Arab contractor, you start seeing them from next tomorrow. We have extensive rebuild, which I'm sure you know. Agri-Kishawo, we assure you that one part of it should be fully motorable. One part of it should be fully motorable very, very soon. You can see that that road is big and it's very wide, but one part of it has to be completed and be fully motorable. We're going to complete also the Sekumade Pakodo Road. I've asked, we're coming back in June or May to hand over Obasekumade Road. What they're doing now is the piling for that bridge. You know, there's a bridge that they need to do. So once they finish that piling, they'll just finish that second part. And in 2 months, we will have a brand new road on Obasekumade Ipakodo Road. I also mentioned that I want to go to Igbobo Bayeko on the right. I know that it's on the right. We made a promise, you know, but we will come there because it goes to our housing estate. So we have not forgotten, right? And that's why we have to, once they mobilize to Berigbe Tomatin law, you know, it's the same high-tech, no. La fair con law, face I know that there's a lot of challenge on Bola Ahmed Igbogbo Road, and we're pushing the contractor. That's why I'm happy that we can hand over the compensation checks. This is the second or third time that we're paying for the compensation on that road. A total of 500 million naira, right, has been set aside, and you've seen some of them. 20 or 22 of them had come out, and it's a total of 70-something that will go to Alausa and collect their checks, because the least we can do is to ensure that we return life back to normal for our citizens, you know, whose property has been damaged or destroyed because of the road improvements that we're doing.
Governor Sanwo-Olu ends his assessment in Ikorodu by commissioning a mini stadium and a computerized youth center for the people.
It's my honor and privilege to commission the Ikorodu Youth Center for the benefit of the youth.
The mini stadium has a volleyball court, table tennis section, snooker and pool tables, fully equipped gymnasium, ICT center, among other facilities.
This is where we call it today on Dateline Lagos. Thank you so much for watching. I'm Ayotunde Balogun. Until next time, please stay safe.